Hello there, I'm Kate Smiles from the Mind Body Reset, and I'm here today to talk about adult autism. Now, autism is a neurodevelopmental disorder which can lead those affected to think and act differently, so they may find it harder to communicate and interact or understand thoughts and feelings of others. Plus, they may find bright lights or loud noises overwhelming, stressful or uncomfortable, get anxious or upset about unfamiliar situations, take longer to understand information, or repeatedly do the same things over and over again. However, despite all that, the signs and symptoms can wax and wane to some extent, depending on environmental factors, plus triggering stressful events or circumstances. So whilst the tendency to autism is present from birth, it might not actually become noticeable until later in life, once traumatic or situational issues have built up. Also, it is important to appreciate that there are degrees of autism. So while some autistic individuals need special support to help them cope, others function apparently normally throughout, as autism is different for everyone. This is because autism is a spectrum, so where one person is situated on this scale will differ from that of another, hence officially the medical terminology being autistic spectrum disorder or ISD. As autism can affect people in the same family, there is a strong genetic element involved. However, chromosomal mutations can also occur with or without a genetic predisposition. But there is also a possibility that viral infections, medications, or complications during pregnancy, and being born prematurely or having much older parents, as well as air pollutants, are also potentially causative factors. However, as more people are being diagnosed with autism these days, we need to consider whether it is becoming more prevalent or if it is just that we are now much better at detecting it, especially in low-level cases, where in the past these individuals may well have been labelled as stupid, rude or away with the fairies. In fact, part of the uptick in stats is probably related to the fact that many more adults are now being diagnosed after spending years feeling awkward or unconsciously attempting to mask their true responses, as well as learning to adapt to and at times extremely hostile to them environment. So whilst it is definitely a challenge to grow up with all the facets that an ASD label entails, it is quite another matter to have to struggle to deal with having to swim against the tide for years, then suddenly find out you actually are an adult with autism. Hopefully this knowledge is useful, as you may start to understand yourself better, including why you may have probably found interpersonal relationships with family, friends, colleagues or partners beyond difficult. But on the other hand, what you thought was just you turns out to be because of your autism, so you may really struggle with your identity as a consequence, especially if you are already drowning in labels such as ADHD, dyslexia, anxiety, depression or OCD, which are often associated with autism. But whilst it's important to take on board what medical help feels right, it's also good to embrace your differences and search for your special something within, so that you can find a way to understand yourself better and accept your neurodivergent identity. However, whilst you don't want your life experience to be limited by autism, it is worth remembering, as any spectrum acknowledges, that moving up the scale is probable. Therefore, it also dictates that moving down the scale is perhaps possible. So being kinder to yourself so that you can cut down on how frequently you find yourself in a flare-up or sensory overload territory is key. So choose your surroundings carefully and fully embrace your routine-loving superpower to enable you to adopt a scrupulous self-care regime, as this is imperative to get the best out of yourself. Because by doing so you will find it feasible to tone down your nervous system irritability and so potentially create a positive impact on the severity of your symptoms. After all, who wouldn't feel and respond much better for gifting themselves a proper sleeping, eating, water drinking, emotionally nourishing and relaxation prioritizing lifestyle that helps to keep their stress triggers and chemical toxicity under control? So as well as a healthy diet and hydration plan, do explore gentle exercise in nature, mindfulness meditation, breathing exercises, gratitude practices, EFT tapping and journaling. Plus, why not consider sentimentology, a blend of hypnotherapy, guided visualization and lucid dreaming, to see if this will release your emotional clutter, improve your sensory shutdown threshold and increase your tolerance of lack of symmetry, move belongings, strangers, new places, bright lights, noise and touch. And if you're a busy woman with health concerns, please join my private Facebook community, the Mind Body Reset group, for lifestyle advice, healthy swaps and self-care information. Thank you for watching. I hope you found that helpful. Goodbye.